Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Great Big Plugin Show. My name is Mark Abrams, and we are going to be checking out a plugin today. Before we get into that, I've got some housekeeping stuff. We are almost halfway through December, which is crazy, and I'm sick of hearing Mariah Carey. So, we still got 2 weeks to go of that, which kind of sucks, but that's cool. So today we're going to be looking at the plugin called Density. We have a giveaway launching next Tuesday for this plugin in cooperation with Sound Particles, who makes the plugin. And you guys will be able to enter to win a copy of it. We're going to have 3 winners in that giveaway, so keep an eye out. I'm sure you'll see an email from us no later than very soon. Also on the agenda is you guys please do all this stuff up here with the YouTube things and the ringing of the bells. I had to rehearse that whole thing with like looking up to see if the title was there and all that. So please hit the subscribe button and ring the bells and all that. We're going to be diving in today, and Density is it's a super cool plugin with some very unique features in it. And I think it's got some unique use cases as well. So I've found some cool stuff to do with it. I'm going to show you a few tips and tricks for it. Also on the housekeeping agenda, we have something very exciting coming out on Friday. And that is going to be the announcement and the beginning of our release for all of our Abbey Road content. So in January, we packed up a plane full of crew and we went over to Abbey Road, and it was as incredible as you would expect it to be. Ken Scott was there and walked us through 4 different eras of recording the Beatles. We had members of the Fab Four, a Beatles cover band here in the States, that came over along with another member that joined us over at the studio, and they are as geeky as we are about audio stuff. They are the equivalent of that for the Beatles. They know everything, and they had recreations of all the instruments. Ken walks us through all the different techniques that he, Norman Smith, Jeff Emmerich, all the different guys used when they were recording the Beatles. And it's done on the Red Desk, the whole thing. So that's going to be coming no later than very soon. The trailer drops on Friday, and we'll give you guys a little tease of that. Along with that, we've been getting requests for another mixing contest in the Puremixers Facebook group, which if you're not a member of that, head over to Facebook, look up Pure Mixers, and join the Facebook group. There's always really good conversations happening over there. So yeah, there were some requests for another mixing contest, and we're going to have one around probably each era. You guys will be able to download the multi-tracks, which, as you would imagine, for Era 1 is going to be pretty small. So it won't take you a lot of time to go through it, which would be cool. Great to see you guys in the chat. Good to see some familiar faces. We got 6 of 1. What's up? We got Felix Phantom, Murray Webster, Tortilla Man. Thanks for joining, guys. This show is especially cool because you guys join in on the whole plugin review process with me. As you can see, we've got the chat over here. That's you guys. And you guys, I want you to let me know what you think about the plugin as we go through this. That's the whole fun part of doing this as a live stream versus doing a pre-record thing and then putting it up, and then you guys can drop comments, and all that. But here, we're doing it live. So I can't even edit these. You guys could put really embarrassing stuff over here. I couldn't do a thing about it. So as we go, you guys let me know what you think of the plugin in the comments over here. And if you want to hear it on something specific, let me know. We'll be doing some sound demos in a minute here, and if you guys think like, oh, that might sound cool on synth, put it in the chat. We'll try it out. So, okay, let's dive in here. So we got the website pulled up for Density from Sound Particles, and let's just read a little bit. Density is an audio effect plugin that creates various layers of sounds based on the input, with great results in stereo and fantastic ones in immersive. The plugin allows artists to create incredible sounding ensembles based on a solo input and get incredible spatialization. So, because of that, I've got some headphones handy that I'm going to be putting on later. So if you don't have your headphones, go grab them. And any headphones will do. We're going to be doing this. We're going to be listening to a binaural example. We're going to check out stereo first. You can stay on your speakers and all that, but eventually we're going to be getting to a binaural example. You don't need these Apple things. It'll work with any set of headphones, but you will need headphones for the latter part of this demo. So just a note on that. Put these back on my hanger. All right. And going down through the website a little more, a voice turns into choirs and a violin into string ensembles. We'll talk about that in a second. They've got a video on here. They've got some sound samples, which let me scroll up here. We had a comment before we went live from Felix, I think. He said, I went and listened to the audio demos on the website and irk. I don't know what irk is. I don't know if it's good or bad, but we'll find out. If you guys check those out, you can find out what irk is and let me know in the chat. So they've got a couple different modes. There's basic mode, detune mode, and pitch mode. Basic mode, super easy to use, one knob, two options, and then detune mode gets a little crazier, and then finally we get the most amount of knobs in pitch mode. They got tutorials on the site, all that stuff. There's an XY pad to this thing that if you're a Tom York fan, you're going to like. And there's some more information on there. Looks like it's $76.99 on sale right now. Let's just dive into this thing here. So here is a session I got pulled up. You guys know this song. It's called Jealousy from Brandy and the Alexanders. We're going to start with this one, and then we'll move on to some other stuff. So I think what we'll do is we'll just go with the lead vocal here. And I've got a couple little control plugins on it that I'm just going to enable. And we'll just take a listen to this thing. We're just going to listen to like the first little section here. And then we'll throw density on and see what we get out of it. So here we go.
Jealousy shows me things I don't want to see. Jealousy holds me back from who I'm meant to be.
SR1B says, I'm thinking of putting this on snares. It might be cool. We're going to try it now. We got to try it now. Okay, so that was the beginning of this whole charade. So there's a clean vocal. Let's throw density up. Now, when I pull it up, I know my text is hard to read. There's a whole thing with the OBS and screen capture and all that stuff. So sorry about that. So I'm going to tell you what it says. Density, mono stereo. Then we've got mono LCR, mono quad, mono LCRS, which seems like quad. Left, center, right, around, 5.0, 5.1, 7.0, 7.1, 7.0.2, 7.1.2, first order ambisonic, second order, third order. I just went right to Star Wars in my head, like the First Order, the Empire, in those movies that were awful. Okay, we're going to start with the mono to stereo. But as you can see, this is definitely, I don't want to say made for surround formats because it's going to work in stereo, but you can see that they've got some Atmos-y kind of things in mind here. Okay, so we'll put it up. And going from the top of the plugin, I've got some resize options. Wow, that's big. That's too big. That's too big. Nobody's that blind in this chat. Okay, there we go. Little 150%. All right. Over, just moving on the top here, we've got a bypass that I read the manual for this thing because I wanted to, do it right. And that bypass, if you automate that guy, it is automatable. That does like a soft, it's a true bypass in that you can see that the plugin bypass inside of Pro Tools is going into bypass mode. Not all plugins do that. And I'm always worried when they don't do that because they're not potentially really in bypass. But this one basically triggers the main bypass. But before it does it, it mutes it. So it could be in the middle of playback. It'll mute the audio before hitting the bypass button, which is cool. I would love it if all plugins did that. Going to the right, I've got a random feature next to the preset selector. You can save presets. And then we've got input modes and output modes. This is really important for this, and I found that it made all the difference on my first impression. So over on the output modes, right now, because I'm on a stereo track, I'm going to a stereo output bus. I've only got these options in front of me, which is stereo, Bloomline, MS, XY. I don't really even know what XY is. I'd have to check it out. Bloomline, I mean, same thing. I don't know if we're just talking about a figure 8 pattern or if they're sitting in figure 8 or if we're sitting in an XY pattern. And then we've got binaural, which is what we're going to listen to later. So again, go grab your headphones if you haven't yet. You don't need them right now, but in a minute. Okay, so let's just take it out of bypass. I'm going to play it one more time, just the first two lines dry. Here it is.
Jealousy shows me things I don't want to see.
All right, and let's see what happens. This is the default setting. Small ensemble, detune 20%, add bass. Here we go.
Jealousy shows me things I don't want to see.
This is cool. You've got Brandy and then a version of Brandy from an alternate universe who just ate an entire pan of lasagna, also singing slightly over to the right. So I'm going to play with the detune. We'll do that again, and I'll let it play a little bit more of the vocal.
Jealousy shows me things I don't want to see. Jealousy holds me back from who I'm meant to be.
Okay, so I hear a couple cool things happening. One, we can get rid of the lasagna version of Brandy if we turn off the bass button, the add bass. Also, the add bass button's pretty cool, as we hear that effect all the time, usually done with something like Little Altar Boy or something, but here's another way to go about it, which is cool. So when I turn that off and I do a little bit more detuning, I'm starting to get a little bit of that ensemble effect. But I'm also, my personal observation of this was I started to hear like more of a room kind of effect on it, like a tight, small room, but a room nonetheless, almost, kind of bathroom reverby, which I think is interesting. And I know that there's going to be more that we can do to make it sound even more ensemble-like. But let's check out a little bit more into the song here.
No matter where I run, I just can't overcome. I know that you're lying.
Now, when I was going through this, I was like, okay, so let's say that I like the effect and I want to use it, but it's not going to replace the sound of my lead vocal, and there's no mix knob on this thing. So I might want to use it on a send, like send some stuff into it, process it, blend it back up underneath the original. That could be cool. Before we get into all that, let's try the large ensemble out.
No matter where I run, I just can't overcome. I know that you're lying to me, that the grass ain't so green. I know it isn't so, but you won't let me.
Okay, so my observations up to this point are, this is cool. It's not supposed to be inserted on the main lead vocal. Felix in the chat asked, does the bass only have an on-off, or can you get a level control? We have 3 more modes to the plugin that we're going to get into. And we've got a detune tab and a multi-pitch tab. In this tab, you can get all the flexibility that you want. So we're going to get to that in a minute. That's where you would do something like the level control for the bass voice. So knowing what I know now, after trying this out in an insert, I'm going to put this on an aux return. I'm going to do a send to it. So I'm just going to go new track from a send, and we'll call this density. There we go. Let's insert the plugin. Stereo. We'll do a large ensemble. I'm going to ask the people who ate too much lasagna to leave the room. And I'm going to bring this aux return all the way down to 0. And then I'll slowly blend it back in. So here is that fader, and you guys will see me bringing it up as we go here. Here we go.
No matter where I run, I just can't overcome. I know that you're lying to me, that the grass ain't so green. I know it isn't so, but you won't let me go. Oh, 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 jealousy. No matter where I.
So one thing that I thought was cool about this is I might even use this as a way to bring in like a small room kind of effect, but I would want a little bit more delay on it. So now I'm feeling like I need some more parameters, right? So let's go forward a little bit. Let's go to the detune area of the plugin. And when I click over here, notice where I have the detune. So I'm at 66.9. If I click on the detune tab, I'm still at 66.9. So I'm assuming all of these settings are as they were when I clicked over into the tab. So let's check this out. And I might start playing with this delay range and see if I can get a little bit more space between the dry vocal and all of our new effecty guys. Let's see what we got.
No matter where I run, I just can't overcome. I know that you're lying to me, that the grass ain't so green. I know it isn't so, but you won't let me go. Oh, 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 jealousy.
Okay, things are starting to get cool. Besides the fact that we have, I remember there was this game when I was a kid. It was like a little circle thing, and you would rotate it, and there were holes in the bottom of the board. Does anybody remember the name of that? But yeah, you would try to get all the balls to fall into that thing. So anyway, I'm gonna ignore that for a second. But looking at this, I started getting kind of a neat effect when I was exceeding like 300 milliseconds, and there started to be some kind of random voices that were moving around, which is neat. So let's just keep playing around. I'm gonna go into the grain size and the dynamic range.
No matter where I run, I just can't overcome. I know that you're lying to me, that the grass ain't so green. I know it isn't so, but you won't let me go. Oh, 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 jealousy. No matter where I run, I...
Now, this is awesome if you have a song about schizophrenia and you want to emulate the voices jumping around. So I like all these like little weird grainy brandies that are going around. Let's play around with the position divergence and the voice speed a little bit. Here we go.
No matter where I run, I just can't overcome. I know that you're lying to me, that the grass ain't so green. I know it isn't so, but you won't let me go. Oh, 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 jealousy. No matter where I run, I just can't overcome. I know that you're lying to me.
All right, this dynamic range control, we shouldn't skip over that because that's kind of neat. When I increase it, those voices are going in and out a lot more versus if I just make it static at 0. Let's see what that sounds like.
No matter where I run, I just can't overcome. I know that you're lying to me, that the grass ain't so...
Pretty cool, but very random. So, okay, going over to movement. We've got clockwise, counterclockwise, and random. Right now we're on random. Let's do a clockwise.
No matter where I run, I just can't overcome. I know that you're lying to me, that the grass ain't so green. I know it isn't so.
Funny story real quick. Apparently over the weekend or last week or something like that, Drake bought DJ Khaled 4 Toto toilets for his birthday. I guess they're very expensive toilets, but he was commenting about how he loves the tornado flush. I learned from this that tornado flush is when the water only flows in one way as you're flushing the toilet. And that's what I thought of when I just saw this. So just wanted to share that with you all. You should you should go read DJ Khaled's tweet back to Drake about the toilets. He was very happy. It was like, yo, real talk, fam. These toilets, they're what's up. Something like that. All right, let's go into a reverse grain type. Here we go.
No matter where I run, I just can't overcome. I know that you're lying to me, that the grass ain't so green.
Oh yeah, sorry, Felix. Let me zoom in a little bit more for you. Here we go. Thank you for saying that, guys. Yeah, definitely yell at me anytime that something sucks about the stream. Here we go. There we go.
No matter where I run, I just can't overcome. I know that
Awesome. Ping pong balls. Okay, down below the movement and grain type, we have this voices number. I believe it's number. If I turn this up, let's get crazy. Let's go really schizophrenic. And we'll do like 75 voices. Here we go.
no matter where I run, I just can't overcome. I know.
Nice. Okay, let's go up in the position divergence. That's just making things spread out more. I believe if we go in super tight, what happens? Maybe I need to see less voices to figure this out. All right. And we got random movement. If we crank up the position divergence, I can't totally tell what's happening there. Let's take a listen to it.
No matter where I run, no matter where I run, I just can't overcome.
I think things got a little. You done? I think things got a little bit wider on that, so that was cool. Mousequake says this will be great in Dolby Atmos mixing. Yes, that is where I think this thing is going to be awesome. We're going to check it out in binaural in a minute here. Okay, let's go to down below here. We've got input, output, and voices. So let's see if we can make this all wet. I'm going to take my send and I'm going to put it in pre-fader mode. So this would almost be like having it on an insert. And I'm going to mute the original lead vocal. Let's see what we get here. Okay, so controls the gain of the output signal, mix gain of the input audio. Okay, so it says controls the mix gain of the input audio. Maybe this is the knob that I was thinking I wanted. Okay, so to me that's a little counterintuitive. That's maybe one thing that I would do differently. So like input, when I think input, I'm thinking about how hard I'm driving a plugin when I'm thinking input, but it's basically saying here's the level of the input source, which I guess makes sense. Then it's saying here's the level of the output, and then it's saying here's the level of the voices. Let me just double check what this voices level is doing. Okay, so when I'm going through this, the output knob to me, I'm thinking very like old school left to right in this, I guess. Input would be like level of the dry source. Output is like your master volume for the entire plugin, and then voices is the level of the voices. That part of it makes sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me that it's on the right side of the output plugin, but I can get my head around it. So, okay. So there's some cool stuff. Let's keep it Unity for everybody here. And we're going to check out some of this XY pad stuff. So this is where I think this plugin can get really, really creative. There's a lot going on in multi-pitch that we'll talk about in a second too, but this XY pad allows you to basically macro, do a macro control of multiple parameters on the plugin. So we have a drop down here where we can select what we want to be on the x-axis and then what we want to be on the y-axis. So on the first one, with their default setting, they've got detune, and then they've got the number of voices. It says voices NR. I think that's number. It's a weird way to abbreviate number, though, so I could be wrong. But let's just leave it here and see what it does. Here we go. All right, things are starting to get cool. All right, so I'm gonna leave it on detune. I'm gonna change the number of voices. Let's see what happens if we play with the delay range on here. Here we go. Let me bring it down a bit. I have the voices at 0. Let me make sure that there's some voices going on here. I think 16 is probably a good number of schizophrenic voices. We'll start there. All right. Random show of hands. Who remembers the Chord Chaos pad? Chord Chaos pad. I was a pretty freaking massive Radiohead fan. I still am, but they had, this is like the new one. There was an older one that was uglier than this. Although that's not necessarily very flattering looking either. But anyway, you could do like multiple different effects with it, and you could blend it. Same kind of idea where you could macro these controls and use your finger to kind of blend in sounds. And I think it was made for DJs. Radiohead famously used it. If you know the song "Everything in Its Right Place," or Kid A, like most of the stuff on Kid A, even they had it going, but they would run Tom's voice through it, and then they would affect it live, and it was neat because it is completely chaotic, like this thing where it's like you're not going to get the same result twice, more than likely. Although you could probably dial it in with this plugin since you can automate, but that was kind of the fun of the thing, was like you never really knew what you were going to get. I just want to see if they have a picture of the original guy. This is the second version of it when they started to get a little bit more Tron looking. And there's the first guy. This one. Yeah. That reminds me of like the chord Trinity and all that. Did you guys ever have these? Felix wanted this when he was 15. I remember it, but I didn't have one. I still have one. Mousequake has one. Nice. Yeah, I've actually thought about picking one of these up, like finding one on Reverb or Rebay. That's like the new Reverb. Anyway, I want to like find one of these things, and I was thinking about hooking it up as a just like an outboard effects unit, just for crazy stuff like density. So maybe I don't need to do that. This is pretty cool. All right, we could do some more trials here and put different stuff on it. This thing also has a 30-day plugin. 30-day plugin. This thing has a 30-day trial. So if you guys want to try it, you can for free, or enter the giveaway next week and you'll get it. And well, enter the giveaway and you'll be one of 3 people to get it. Let's instead of playing with some more of this stuff, let's go over and check out the multi-pitch part of it, because I want to get to the binaural thing. It's going to be pretty cool. Okay, down here we have what looks like a 500 series where you can add in these modules, and then you can take them away using this minus key up here. And let's start on the first one, and we'll leave it at the bass pitch. So this should just be, remember, I've got my lead vocal muted. I'm doing a pre-fader send from that lead vocal into a stereo aux return. So that's what we're hearing right now. So this should be an unaffected version of the vocal. Let's see if I'm right. Nope, because I got delay grain going on, I think, but the delay's at 0. So let's take out the voices. No, wait, I need the voices. All right, we're just gonna keep playing. So I'm just gonna add in another voice here, and let's put it up. These are semitones, I believe, in the pitch section. So let's go up 7 semitones here. That should be a 5th. Let's see what we get. On the grain type, I've still got it in reverse, so I'm going to switch that back to regular. We got lasagna brandy back. Okay, so you can see how you could start dialing in some more of these voices here. If we do a 4th, and maybe let's put this back up to a 7. Here we go. All right, so we've got the whole thing where you can add more voices in if you want to. We could put an octave down maybe. Let's do that. We'll do an octave up, because why not? Let's listen. Okay, and then this voices NR thing, we can add more of this particular grain, I guess that you would call it, like this delay sample of this one. And then let's turn up the delay range a bit. I've added a bunch of voices on each of these, and we'll move them around a bit so we start getting some colored balls moving on the screen. And let's take a listen. Maybe I'll increase the dynamic range a little bit. So there's our artificial voices. Cool. We got that. You can see how you could tweak this more. Sorry, I think it was Felix was asking in the beginning if we had a level control over the bass and the basic function. So in the basic function, this is just adding one of those voices pitched down, probably 12, and then, blending it in. Going into multi-pitch, you could just make this one voice and then do that same blending thing. But I think the power of this plugin is definitely in the fact that it's making multiple grains and then moving them all around. And I do believe that this thing's going to sound awesome in Atmos, which is where we're headed next. So everybody grab your headphones. We're going to need them. And I'm going to be switching the output of this thing from stereo to binaural. And let me just check some stuff here. Okay, hold on here. I need to grab my headphones from my output. All right, and let me go back into Pro Tools here. I'm going to turn on my headphones here. And I'm going to switch this to binaural. And let's see what happens when I hit play now. So hopefully you guys all have your headphones on. Here we go. That's all very crazy sounding. So let's do this. Let's go. I'm going to go back to factory default preset, and I'm going to play a little bit of it in stereo mode, and then I'll play it again in binaural.
That the grass ain't so green, I know it isn't so, but you won't let me go. Oh, jealousy. No matter where I run.
Okay, now that I'm still in stereo mode here, but now that I've got, kind of a little bit of a detune going, I took out the add bass. I'm on a large ensemble. I'm going to go into the detune tab here, and we can see that some of this stuff is going on. And we're going to go over here because I have this going on a send or, send return kind of thing. I'm going to take the input, which is the level of the dry voice, and I'm going to turn that all the way down. And then on my output, I'm going to change this to binaural after we hear it a little bit. So let's make sure that this is sounding cool.
No matter where I run, I just can't overcome. I know that you're lying to me, that the grass ain't so green.
All right, that sounds like a thing. Let's go to binaural now. Here we go.
No matter where I run, I just can't overcome. I know that you're lying to me, that the grass ain't so green. I know it isn't so.
Back to stereo.
No matter where I run, I just can't overcome. I know.
Back to binaural.
No matter where I run, I just can't overcome. I know that you're lying to.
All right, so things are starting to get cool. You can start seeing how in Atmos, this is going to start creating a space around you with all these tiny little reflections, these different grain samples. Let's get weird here and crank it up a bit. Here we go.
No matter where I run, I just can't overcome. I know that you're lying to me, that the grass ain't so green. I know it isn't so, but you won't let me go. Oh, jealousy. No matter where I run, I just can't overcome. I know that you're lying to me, that the grass ain't so green. I know it isn't so, but you won't let me go. Oh, jealousy. No matter where I run.
So I think after playing with this a little bit, you could probably get the hang of that XY pad, and then it would end up being a lot of fun. I work on a lot of weird indie rock and pop stuff that would actually welcome this sort of crazy effect thing if done sparingly and tastefully and all that. But this is totally a plugin I would go to just kind of create something that maybe I wouldn't get as much if I was just tweaking on delay time knobs inside of Echo Boy or something like that. Uh, I think it might be something that'd be pretty cool to pull up to try some stuff out. So let's go over back to our multi-pitch. And in the chat, guys, let me know what kind of stuff you would like to hear this on, if you want to hear it on something else. SR1B says it feels more natural in stereo. I agree. There's like a binaural thing happening, like just the regular, binaural processing that always feels a little bit odd to me, which I feel on here as well. So there's that. There is a right place for that effect for sure. From Haywood, I'm not going to repeat the rest of the name. 6 of 1 says definite potential. This in Cargo Cult Slapper 2 would be wild. I don't know that one. I'm going to have to look that up. Awesome. All right. So Murray Webster said, used to have a girl singer who used a Chaos Pad. Dangerous as you never knew it was coming, apart from making huge monitoring problems on stage. Feedback in Chaos Pad was not nice. I do remember seeing a band that tried to do that, have a Chaos Pad on stage, and it went horribly wrong, and the feedback would loop through the Chaos Pad, and then they'd be, trying to do things, and you just hear the feedback like changing pitch and then delaying back over itself again, and that was fun. Murray says, I do live concert mixes that would nicely enhance the audience ambient mics. Yeah, there you go. Like there could be some cool uses for that. You could, do a little pitching, put things around the room, all that. Let's check out some of these presets here. And then I think that we should go try it on the snare like somebody suggested a minute ago, just because it's going to be crazy. And we can. It's our show. All right. Instant Mystery. Here we go. I don't know what's going to happen, guys. Watch your ears. Let's go binaural. Here we go. Oh, it wanted us to do it in MS, so maybe we should just listen to that first. Here we go.
No matter where I run, I just can't overcome.
That looks like a nerd's rope. I don't know if you guys have nerd's ropes where you're at, but they're not good, and it's actually making my stomach a little bit queasy.
No matter where I run, I just can't overcome. I know that you're lying to me, that the grass ain't so green.
I kind of want to go into an Atmos room and hear this thing in like a 914 or 916 configuration. I think it'd be pretty cool. Okay, so if there's something else that you want to hear it on, let me know. I'm going to go put this on snare in a R&B track that would be even crazier than something else. So we won't do it in an R&B track. Let's change songs here. Let's go over to Jared Evans, Light Shine Through. This is from a Puremix start to finish series. Let me just get us set up here. And I should have started with it on this track, as it would definitely be more in the family. So for example, here's like a dry lead that we have on this track. Here we go. These woes in my mind, these woes from the weight of these woes in my mind. Felix asks about a natural doubler. I believe maybe. Let's find out. So here's our dry lead. Let's put density on here. And I'm going to load it up in stereo. Let's just see if they have any kind of preset for a doubler. Default, deranged, delay, reversion. I don't know if natural is necessarily the name of the game here. But let's see. Let's go to multi-pitch. And why don't we just try doing like a couple cents down, a couple cents up. And maybe we can alter the detune. Oh, that's cool. We can get the XY pad when we're in multi-pitch mode as well. I didn't realize that. So if you have basic controls, you have less control but more control than basic. Or sorry, yeah. So you have basic, medium, and then I would say like advanced controls. but you can still get the XY pad here. So this is a little bit more control over what's going on with the voices, and then you also have XY control here. So yeah, if you're an advanced user, this seems like the tab you're going to spend a lot of your time in. All right, let's just see if we can get that going. So as a reminder, we've got the input signal level right here. This is the master output level. And then on the right is the level of the voices. Let me turn up the GUI size again for you guys. And let's go from the top. Manic says, I work in film post and would like to listen to it on spoken words to make it weird, big, and spooky. Yeah, it would be awesome for that. And again, like, if you want to trigger schizophrenia, this might be a good way to do it. Okay, here we go.
Wake up so tired from the weight of these woes in my mind. Yeah, how will we get by when the lights are...
So it's going down in semitones here, and I feel like I would need finer control to make a doubler kind of thing going. Let's just try putting it up on the detune, which is sense up here. See if we get more of a natural double sound.
Wake up so tired from the weight of these woes in my mind. Yeah, how will we get by when the lights out and the streets are on fire? Oh, yeah. Wake up so tired from the weight of these woes in my mind.
Oof. Yeah, not really great, but
Wake up so tired from the weight of these woes in my mind.
yeah, so it looks like with going like a 50-ish, 60-ish range on the detune for the cent value, and then with its movement and stuff, you kind of get a little bit of a normal doubling thing going on. Foreman doubler, says Haywood. Cool. I think like, yeah, somebody put crowd noises on here. I think that would be pretty neat. Murray says horrible is being nice in regards to that chaos pad feedback thing. Okay. Let's see. So somebody asked for strings and brass. So I don't know if I have any brass loaded up, but let's see what else we can find in this session. Just going to bypass it on there. So far what I'm hearing is a very creative plugin that's going to have some specific use cases, but it's pretty cool. And let's see here. I thought that there was something in here that was string-like, but I could be wrong. This one's labeled Audio 1 or Audio 2. You never know what you're going to get with that. It's like a nice little mystery box. Let's try it out. Yeah, little distorted guitar piano thing. That sounds kind of guitarish. Okay, density. Put it on in stereo here. I'm going to change this over to binaural because I haven't taken my headphones off yet. And let's go into the multi-pitch. Actually, let's go to detune because it's a little faster with just getting a whole bunch of random voice stuff happening. And let's see if we can make something neat happen out of this. I'm going to change my grain type to reverse. And right now, again, like on the XY pad, you can choose what you want on the X-axis, on the Y-axis. So I've got detune on the X. Let's change that to our grain size, which is the length of the sample it's going to do for a delay. And then it was doing the voices NR, which I think, again, is the number thing. But let's change that to maybe voice speed. So as I go up, it's going to make these guys move really fast. If I'm down, they're going to move slower or not at all. There we go. Really slow. Ooh, that could be cool for the sound. Let's see. As a reminder, we started here. Here's the thing that we got. Okay, and then if we bring down the input, we can listen to just the wet signal. Let's check that out in stereo. Bringing up the dynamic range. Bring up the voice speed. Divergence. And here it is with density in a small ensemble with the add bass feature on. Large ensemble. No bass. Whole lot of detuning with the bass. And again, I could kind of see that being interesting effect to put on. Let's see, just because you get the pitch snare sound thing, that's kind of neat. All right, let's see what happens if we go into detune and we just try to mess some stuff up. Turn up our delay range. Grain size. Dynamic range. Divergence. Let's put it in binaural again. And we'll just listen to the wet. Change our grain type to reverse. Put it in clockwise. Drake, Toto, toilet, tornado flush. What we got going on there? Counterclockwise. Bring back our dry. Okay, so cool. You could totally, I'm glad we put this on snare. You could actually time out the delay range so that this was a note value and it reacted in a really cool way where you had like a note division where it would start, you know, like an eighth note later or something like that. That would be super cool. Yeah, so FF Phantom, is that a granular effects kind of like output portal or Arturia fragments? Yeah, I think so, but it's doing a whole lot of panning stuff and yes, though. I haven't totally dug into those other plugins, but from what I understand of them, similar kind of idea. Cool. So there it is. This is Sound Particles Density. Mousequake says, let me go buy this right now. I'm going to use it tonight. Nice. Yeah, I'm totally going to try this too. I'm just starting to do some Atmos mixes and I'm going to play with this thing when I do one tonight. So it's pretty cool. If you guys want to see it on anything else, let me know. Murray asks, can you sync it to tempo? Not that I know of. I wish that you could, though. And maybe that's something that we could say, Sound Particles, can we get a time synced version of this? A tempo synced version? Hopefully they see this. As a reminder, there's a bunch of presets. You can change the input source. This was stereo, actually. Let's just see if that changes anything severe. Okay, come on. This could be really cool. That's awesome. Uh, actually, snare might be my favorite thing I've heard it on so far. The piano thing was really cool too. This is going to be fun. I think I'm going to get a lot of use out of this. All right. This thing is available at soundparticles.com. There's a giveaway again for anybody who's just tuning in. If you're just tuning in and you like logged in and you see a bunch of little balls rolling around on the screen with like weird snare noises going around, uh, sorry, although it's pretty awesome. This is Sound Particles Density. We have a giveaway starting tomorrow on puremix.net. There will be 3 winners of a license for this, and you guys can check it out. There's our picture of the chorus pad, or the chaos pad. Soundparticles.com. They also have a cool guide on here that I saw. It is, I think it's a free ebook thing. It's a guide to 3D audio, and it explains a lot of different things about like ambisonics and a lot more than just Dolby Atmos. Uh, so this would be worth taking a read in. I downloaded it and I quickly kind of browsed through it, but I'm going to go back to it and read some more of it. They talk about ambisonic recording. There's a bunch of free videos that you can watch on here as well. So if you're into the 3D audio thing, these guys are doing some really cool stuff. They have a bunch of other products on here too. There are things like brightness panner and energy panner. If you've watched the Atmos videos on Puremix, you've seen Andrew Sheps use these guys. This one, how cool is this? You like basically when you're sitting in your room, you take your phone. If you want to pan something and you're in Atmos, you can be like, pan it over there and point it like a Wii remote, which is pretty neat. That would definitely speed the process up. So yeah, that one's really cool. And then Energy Panner and Brightness Panner, they react to incoming sounds. They have a threshold, and then basically, I believe how based on how hard they're being hit, will control how much it just goes spastic around the room. That's my understanding of it. I haven't actually used this one, but I'd love to. So yeah, really, really great products here at Sound Particles, especially if you're getting into immersive. But as you just saw, you could have some fun with it in stereo for sure. And I don't think I need to go get a chaos pad anymore, which is cool. I'm excited about that. All right. So, yeah, Mohammed asks, how do we enter? And if you're a Puremix member, you're probably going to get an email very soon. If not, you can go to puremix.net. You don't have to be a member to enter into a giveaway. You'll go to puremix.net, and if you're logged out, you'll still be able to find it. So let me log out of my account here. You go to features, giveaways, and there it is. It's already live. Or no, I'm sorry. It opens soon. It's not open yet, but you'll go to this page. You'll find this one. It'll be ready to go. I believe, yeah, it starts next Tuesday, so not yet. Just got fooled because I saw the graphic, but you'll be able to click on that graphic and enter in for the giveaway. So check back next Tuesday. SR1B, Mark, I didn't get 100%. Oh, about the mixing contest. Yeah. So we do have another mixing contest coming soon. That's going to be related to the Abbey Road series that's coming up. A lot of fun. If you're just tuning in, we went over to Abbey Road in January with Ken Scott and a band called the Fab Four. And our goal was to recreate the sound of Beatles records using the gear in the room with one of the engineers. And it's pretty awesome. We've been working on it all year. We've been really working on it hard because it's so important to get it right. It's the Beatles. It's very special. And we're excited to share it with you guys. So there's a trailer coming out on Friday. The series will be out before Christmas, and the mixing contest will follow shortly after that. So stay tuned for that. There's going to be 4 different eras to this series. So the beginning of it's going to start with stuff that sounds like Please Please Me. And then, by the end of it, we're going to be moving into the later portions of the Beatles. As we go along, Ken basically breaks down the exact methods that they were using to the best of anybody's recollection, using the same or similar mics inside of the very room. So, for example, it's going to start off with 2 tracks in Era 1 and build up from there. So pretty exciting stuff that's coming very soon. Cool. Yes, guys, please. I have this whole thing here. If you could hit that thing right there. It really does help us to keep content like this going. So please like and subscribe and do all those things. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me know in the comments if you have a plugin that you would like to see reviewed on the next Great Plugin Show. We'll be back in. Are we back in 2 weeks? Hold on, let me confirm that before I say it on the air here. We have the Christmas holiday coming up, so let me make sure that we're actually going to be back. But okay, so we'll be back after the new year. This is the last great plugin show of the year. Next week, I'll be back doing another Mixtank Live. If you're unfamiliar with Mixtank, it's where we review Puremix Pro members' mixes online. And Mixtank is kind of like our think tank for mixes. So the entire community can comment on them, but I go live every Monday and try to give useful feedback while the chat room helps me out, just like they are right now. Over here. Over here. It switched that way. Awesome. Cool. Guys, thanks so much. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys after the new year. If you don't tune in next Monday, have a great holiday, and I'll see you back in 2023. Later.